Hello, my name is Daniel Lyo. I'm an aerospace engineering major at Georgia Tech. I chose aerospace engineering because at a very young age I witnessed a rocket launch at Cape Canaveral, and I thought it was so interesting how the rocket worked, and I started building my own models and I started looking at projections, and then as I grew older I started seeing the physics of it and I started seeing the calculus of it, and it just really interested me. And then my goal in life is to become an astronaut, and I understand that aerospace engineering is the best way to get me there. So what is the aerospace major about? Part of the aerospace program at Georgia Tech is to develop certain skills. At Georgia Tech, our program goals are actually to create the most technically proficient and efficient leaders and entrepreneurs in the field. We want to establish their undergraduates beyond just their technical proficiency and really enable them to succeed in any field possible. High professional and ethical standards is crucial for any undergraduate here. We need them to go out into the field and actually look good on paper and demonstrate that Georgia Tech students are good at what they do. We need to create new knowledge and new engineering practices. Innovation is a crucial step to be a good and successful alumni after graduating from Georgia Tech. The undergraduate program helps create lifelong learners, and it encourages all students to help share their knowledge among all the people that they are exposed to. So these are some of the skills that Georgia Tech helps you develop. And if you have these skills, then you're probably right for the aerospace engineering program. So the core coursework for aerospace majors is very math intensive, not as much English, and very physics intensive. So you'll notice that we have to take 6 maths over the course of the 4 years. We have to take calculus through multivariable calculus, and not as many English electives. It's very math and physics intensive, so it's important that you get that core established before you move on to the actual aerospace specific courses. Astronautical engineering is the study of objects that move outside of our atmosphere. That includes satellites, and that includes rockets, that includes any kind of projectile that moves outside of our atmosphere. Some of the core fields within astronautical engineering include space exploration, power optimization, propellant development, satellite development, projectile engineering, spatial project mapping, launch systems, and astronautics. More aerospace engineers become astronauts than any other major. 14 have come from Georgia Tech itself. So it's very interesting, I think, the field of astronautical engineering as one of the aerospace components.
Hello, my name is Evan Brown, and I am an aerospace engineering major at Georgia Tech. And I chose aerospace engineering because I absolutely fell in love with airplanes and jet propulsion in the 9th grade. I never thought that aerospace would actually be my passion until I joined the Count Robotics team in the 9th grade. And as I worked in the robotics team throughout high school, I worked in the hardware division and really fell in love with all the hardware and the science and physics behind the work that I do. And I love aerospace because it's a vigorous program, or vigorous major that accurately reflects my strengths in math, science, and physics, and I really want to understand and study the physics behind airplanes and how they work, and all the fluid dynamics and thermodynamics. And my overall goal is to make aircraft more efficient and environmentally friendly. So these are all the major aerospace companies. You have one of the largest ones being Airbus, Boeing, and Lockheed Martin, and these are just all the main companies that hire aerospace engineers. Alright, so mean salary distribution. So aerospace engineering is a pretty, solid major, and you earn a good amount of money. And the lowest 10%, as you see here, earns about $67,850, and then the highest 10% earns about $158,700. So once again, pretty good amount of money. So most aerospace engineers work in these states up here, so a lot of the southeastern states and a couple of Midwest and even a Northwest state. And here you have the breakdown of money distribution by the different branches within aerospace. You have federal service, or federal government. You have navigational and control manufacturing, and you also have research and development, and you have engineering services and aerospace product and parts manufacturing. Alright, so once again, here is a main distribution by state. As you can see, the darkest areas has the highest concentration by money, and the lightest areas have the least amount, and the white areas where aerospace is very loosely distributed. So here are job prospects and statistics about aerospace. By 2024, only about 70,800 employees people will be employed in aerospace engineering. So it is on a slight decline, about negative 2% decline, which is about a 1,600 job reduction. So it's not the most booming business right now, but nonetheless, it's still a very solid business, and there will always be engine and propulsion specialists that will be needed to move aerospace to a more quieter, fuel-efficient kind of industry. And you have the median pay here as well. You have the number of jobs in 2014, so about 72,500. And then you have, once again here, you have slow growth in industry, so that's why it's kind of cut back a little bit on jobs. But however, you do have the retirement of the baby boomers, which definitely helps open up jobs for aerospace engineering. And yeah.
Hi, my name is Matthias Herbener, and I am an aerospace engineering major here at Georgia Tech. I chose aerospace engineering because I've always been fascinated by the vast unknown that is outer space, the void surrounding our planet. And I have a burning desire to explore this unknown, to find out the mysteries that can be hidden out there. And I chose aerospace engineering rather than, say, astrophysics because I am very strong with math and physics, so that'll help correlate with the engineering aspect of this major. Okay, so some of the projects that have been produced by Georgia Tech or some of its current professors. Current Professor Ben Zinn has spent over 30 years working with NASA to reduce the sound of spacecraft takeoff, which can, in some cases, be temporarily deafening to the astronauts inside the aircraft. And he has also worked towards solving problems with combustion instability to prevent accidents like the Challenger explosion. During the second stage of the first flight of Saturn I in 1964, which Saturn I was the first spacecraft that was dedicated or that's specifically designed to carry large payloads into low Earth orbit, and that is for things like building the International Space Station part by part. You know, they can't take it all up there at once, so they have to take it in chunks, and that's what this was for. And so the tech scientists were on board there, on site, working with NASA. They checked the engine performance and the chemical reactions actually in the exhaust itself. And so the Professor Paul Steffs, also with the Aerospace Engineering Department, is part of the team working on the Juno project with NASA. And the Juno project is a satellite that has just entered the orbit of Jupiter a few weeks ago, and it is set to orbit Jupiter for 20 months and collect data on the composition of Jupiter, which, since it's one of the gas giants, will give us clues as to the birth of the solar system. And then the Center for Space Technology and Research, or CSTAR, is the head of Georgia Tech's space science and technology research activities. So basically anything that it does with NASA or any of the other aerospace engineering companies that it might work with. And it's in a partnership with NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory from Caltech to further develop their research.
Hello, my name is Stephen Beasley, and I'm a rising aerospace engineering major. I fell in love with aerospace engineering on the aeronautical side from a young age, as I grew to love building structures with Legos, and I grew to have a love for and passion for flying and aerodynamics. As I grew older, I gained a skill where I learned how to fly actual planes, and I learned different structures of math and physics, involving aeronautics. And I believe aerospace engineering will help me with my passion to where I will be able to fly as well as build, design, and craft aircrafts. One of the two branches of aerospace engineering is aeronautical engineering. Well, aeronautical engineering is more focused on aircraft design, planes, and of that nature. Different subject and courses, as you can see listed here, include thermodynamics, flight mechanics, aircraft stability and control, aircraft structures, construction, design, and maintenance of aircraft, aircraft design, aircraft engine design, and structure design. Here are a few design classes for aerospace engineering. We have AE 1601, which is Introduction to AE. We have AE 4341, 2, and 3 for aircraft design, space system design, and rotorcraft design, depending on what side of aerospace engineering you want to go with design, whether it be planes, spaceships, or rotorcrafts such as helicopters. We have AE 3030, which is aerodynamics, which will be a crucial part for aircraft for AE 4341, 2, and 3, because you will need to be able to have the planes meet the requirements so that they will be aerodynamic. We have AE 4451, which is jet and rocket propulsion, which will be on the actual space side of aerospace engineering with rockets. And we have AE 3240, which is structural analysis.
My name is Michael Bryan II, and I joined AE because of my love of cars. Ever since I was a young boy, I've always loved cars, fast cars, especially cars such as Ferrari, Lamborghini, Porsche. And so once I got into high school and I started taking engineering classes as part of my engineering pathway, I discovered that aerospace would be a field that I could focus in and then make my concentration aerodynamics where I could go and learn how to design these fast cars. Now I'm going to talk to you all about our academic interview for our department. The person we interviewed was Jinwoo Lee, who is an academic coordinator for 1 year now in the AE department. He serves as the data analysis person, in which he takes into factors such as GPA, extracurriculars, or student exam scores in order to determine student success rates. He graduated Georgia Tech as an ME major, or mechanical engineering major, and even served as the president of the American Society for Mechanical Engineers, in which he realized how large Tech's opportunities were as far as networking. He joined the ME graduate program, but decided that these weren't towards his passions and left. He then began to work for a magazine company for a few years, in which he established himself as not only a writer, but as a poet as well. Now I'm going to talk to you all about recruitment and the Aerospace Honors Program. The recruiting process at Georgia Tech is a very simple process. They go to the top students in the nation at the graduate level, and they allow these students, by inviting them to Tech, which is cost covered, and they do this twice a year. And what happens is they allow these students to come and see how Tech works, look at their research facilities, and understand whether or not they want to come to graduate school here at Tech. They also do info sessions for undergraduates, as far as taking them from other minors such as ME, which is not the best major here at the school. Now, as far as the honors program go, the Bachelor of Science, Master in Science honors program allows you to graduate with 5 years plus with a master's degree from the program. However, you must maintain a minimum of 3.5 GPA in order to be selected. The great thing about this program is that once you do this, you do not have to take your graduate-ready exams. Per our interview, the best way to get internships and studying abroad at Georgia Tech is to attend the AE seminars, which are hosted by the American Society of Aeronautical Engineers. Here, not only can you meet corporate representatives, but you can also meet researchers who are looking for students interested in their work. As far as study abroad goes, the AE department works closely with the IEP program, or the international program. And they're also working on a new program specifically for AE majors, because finding a study abroad course can actually be very difficult when you're trying to take classes such as fluid dynamics or more aerospace focused classes. Like I said prior, I joined aerospace because I wanted to design cars. And it's really amazing that even in this department, you realize that it's not just about planes or rockets. They have many different advantageous jobs that you can find and many different places you can work in. Thank you for watching our presentation and have a wonderful day.